Hey everybody, just got my copy of Ylthari's Guardians and I wanted to go over my top 5 cards from the set. Now when I'm talking top 5, I'm going to be looking at cards that I think are empirically powerful from different warbands, cards I think are interesting, and cards that I just think are worth a second look. What I'll do is kind of talk about the warbands that I think it'll play well in and why I'm excited to play with it. So without further ado, we'll start. And these are in no particular order. There's no 1 through 5. These are just 5 cards I'm excited about. Number 1 would be Well of Power. And I'll bring Stormsire out. Beside that, as I think that this is a very powerful card for any wizard deck. While this fighter is inspired, you can roll an extra dice while they attempt to cast a spell. Obviously Vortimus, Stormsire, Ylthari, all of them would very much like this card. +1 dice to attack is always great. But it makes any of the cards with double foci, even more playable. It makes the double channel even stronger. It gives you opens up a good slew of options. So I think that's one that we're going to see a lot of play on. Number 2, Quick Learner, and obviously Mollog would be the first fighter I would look to put this on. I think that he would benefit from it greatly, but and I'll read it. Reaction: after an enemy fighter's attack action or another warband's gambit that damages this fighter but does not take them out of action, draw a power card. I think that that's really strong for anybody with solid hit points. Dwarves, orcs, Magors, Mollog, obviously, any of the Stormcast, especially the defensive squads. I think that there's a very good action economy in this, getting extra cards, and somebody who like Mollog in most decks where you're running through your power cards very quickly, I think that this would be a very good reaction for him. So the next one that I think is very interesting is Lethal Repertoire. Score this in an end phase if a friendly fighter made an attack action in the preceding action phase, printed on an upgrade that you played in the same phase. Throwing the Skaven out on this one because I like to run some attack upgrades with the Skaven. I think the Gits would be good with this. I think any of the Swarm warbands where you're trying to kind of charge up the weaker fighters. Attack action upgrades, things like Mutating Maul. Honestly, the next card we're going to get to. There are some really good attack actions out there that can power up the attacks of your weaker fellows. The reason I like it with Skaven is obviously, especially with Hungering and Lurking, they can come back and you can be using this more than once. So I think it's really strong. Usually you're playing those attack actions just before you're attacking with them, as opposed to doing it as a setup like a Great Fortitude. So I think that this, if you're playing a decent amount of attack upgrades, is just get a glory for doing the thing you're going to do. 4th, Fated Blade. I really like the randomness of this card, and I really think it would be fun for Eyes of the Nine. It's a 1 hex, 2 hammers attack, and damage is equal to you roll 5 dice for after this attack. Its damage is equal to the number of hammers and crits. So, on average, that's a 50% chance on each, so 2.5 damage. So, it's a 1/2/2. Not bad for 2 hammers. It's pretty standard to a lot of the leaders in the game. Stormsire uninspired, the way Magor starts, etc. But you have those chances to roll big on this. You have the chance to roll 5. It also interacts with Rebound, interestingly. So Rebound is triggered before damage is rolled. So you can decide, do I cast Rebound, even though this may not take me out, or do I chance it? Very interesting. I think it'll play really well. And last, Cage of Thorns. I don't have my Ylthari built because I just opened this, but 3 hexes on focus, 1 damage. If this attack action succeeds, plays a move token next to the target, and it's restricted to Ylthari. I really wish this wasn't a restricted card and it could just go on any wizard, but I think it's really interesting that it's a kind of mobile transfixing stare. You can shoot and make sure that nobody can move and stay in your threat range, and especially with the threat range of the elves. I think that this probably won't see much play. I think it's really interesting, and I would want to play around with it in a big way. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything that you think is a great upgrade, something I didn't mention. Yeah, thanks for joining me.